Hi there guys. Well, I've just finished speaking at the Acupuncture Leaders event on the Gold Coast and talking to some really great acupuncturists about how they can leverage a magazine in their business. So I thought I'd quickly talk to you and let you know some of the great things that we were discussing in the event. Thanks Andrew and Kat for having me. And one of those things that we were talking about is the power of being an editor-in-chief of your own magazine. So why would you want to be an editor-in-chief of your own magazine? Well, some of the things we talked about today in the event are, one, if you're in an industry that, quite a number of people are either there's lots of them or not many people know what you're about and what, for people, often we talked about in the event today, people don't necessarily know what acupuncture is all about. They've heard of it, but they don't really know what it's about. So if you're the editor-in-chief of a magazine, for example, a magazine called Acupuncture Health, then you can tell the story about acupuncture the way you want it to be told and the way you want people to know about acupuncture. So one, if you're in an industry that needs a bit of explaining, then being an editor-in-chief of your own magazine allows you to control the story. Two, if you're competing against a number of acupuncturists or other people in your industry, so if there's lots of real estate agents, if there's lots of acupuncturists, how do you position yourself as the number one? Well, the way to do that is to be an editor-in-chief of your own magazine in that topic. So for the acupuncturist I was talking to today, it's like, well, why don't you become the editor-in-chief of an acupuncture magazine and you position yourself as the only choice? There are people that will travel a long way to see the expert. So if you can position yourself as the expert, not only does it open you up and position you in your local market, but it also positions you in a lot bigger reach. Now, one of the participants said, well, actually, I was thinking about writing my own book. And look, that's a great tip. If she wanted to write a book, fantastic. However, I asked her the question, does she really want to be the one that is positioned in that practice? So does she want to be the only one that's on the tools? Or would she like to position her practitioners? I think she had 5 different practices. Does she want to position herself as the expert, or would she rather position the people that work for her as well as her as the expert? So she could be the editor-in-chief of the magazine, but then she could do profiles on all her practitioners. Now there's lots of other reasons why being an editor-in-chief of a magazine, but they're just a few of them. Positioning yourself as the choice in your market, being able to explain and tell the story about what you do and who you are the way you want it to be told, and to be able to position other people within your business so that you're not the only one on the tools, so to speak. So if you've got a real estate office, making the other real estate agents in the office champions, making the other acupuncturists in your practice champions, being able to have a magazine, call yourself the editor-in-chief, allows you a lot of scope to almost become your own Rupert Murdoch in your area and control the media. So thanks again, Andrew and Kat, for having me at the Acupuncture Leaders event. It was really great to talk to some really smart acupuncturists about how they're working on making their practices the best they can be and making themselves leverageable and having a business that generates income and lets them have a bit of freedom. So remember, it's not as hard as you think to become an editor-in-chief. You might want to consider it for 2019 in your marketing mix.